One of the sections that I have is we judge ourselves more charitably than we judge others. And that basically just means that when it comes to judging, we tend to judge others more harshly than we would to ourselves. And that's called self-serving bias. When someone else suffers, we put fault on that person, but when we suffer, we put the blame on anything but ourselves. And there's a study in romantic relationships that it shows that when we express our honesty to our partner, regardless of how hurtful it may be, we see it as a useful or helpful comment. But when they do the same to us, we view it as only as hurtful and unsympathetic. The other section that I have is we are influenced by our expectations, and being influenced by our expectations can be either positive or negative. One study shows that when students read positive comments about instructors, they view them as more trustworthy and reliable in comparison to the students who had not seen those comments and had no prior expectations of those instructors. And the group of students who read the comments already had high expectations of the instructors. Some examples would be when you meet someone, your expectations of them or their physical attraction will either be high or low depending on what prior knowledge you have heard or know about them. This can either be a good or bad thing depending on how you view it. And so if someone were to tell you the person you are meeting is a fascinating person, but when you meet them they end up being dull and boring, you'll realize that you had a higher expectation of that person. And it also works for the opposite. You might have had a low expectation because they said the opposite, that they were boring, and they turn out to be fascinating for you. So it all just depends on the outlook that you have, whether it's positive or negative.